morning, ladies and gentlemen, and younger ladies and gentlemen. I am Shukola Das, your host for the day. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural edition of Voice of Tomorrow, brought to you by Prabha Khaitan Foundation. Voice of Tomorrow is an ideas festival of, by, and for the young and the young at heart. The festival seeks to explore themes of relevance across aspects that interest curious minds, regardless of age. A forward-looking festival, we envision it becoming a powerful platform for exchange of ideas across generations, and one where we try our best to amplify young voices. And on that note, and with this promise, it is time to inaugurate Edition 1, Voice of Tomorrow. May I call Isha Datta, SR's Woman of Calcutta, to deliver the welcome address, please.
Good morning, everyone. Prabha Khaitan Foundation aligns itself with the vision to work towards a better tomorrow. Guided by the philosophy of its founder, the late Dr. Prabha Khaitan, the foundation has always taken the initiative to curate events and support initiatives that create roadmaps for a better, transformed, and empowered tomorrow. Transforming minds and empowering ourselves is the mantra of modern day. The Foundation is excited to be an integral part of Voice of Tomorrow Festival that explores creative intelligence in the age of artificial intelligence and weighs the pros and cons. A big shout out to the transforming and empowering power of AI, where our respected panelists will comment on whether AI is an ally or foe to human intelligence in the domain of the written word and the spheres of life. I'm Isha Datta, SR's Woman of Kolkata, and it is my utmost pleasure to welcome you all to today's unique festival, Voice of Tomorrow. A little bit about the foundation. Prabha Khaitan Foundation is a Kolkata-based non-profit trust established by the late Dr. Prabha Khaitan back in the 1980s. Dr. Khaitan was an eminent literati, cultural and social activist who valued the heritage of Indian literature, art, and culture. Her vision has guided the foundation to focus on widening the spectrum of literary and cultural world in the society through activities and events in more than 50 cities in India and overseas. The foundation has charted a resplendent journey of 4 long decades in curating initiatives that encourage literature, art forms, socio-cultural development, and humanitarian causes. The foundation believes that literature, music, performing arts, painting, and other art forms are repositories of the society's collective memory. All creative expressions or art forms are platforms to connect to niche audiences, communicate ideas, and create a cultural capital. For the foundation, culture is a kaleidoscope of language, music, literature, visual arts, dance, drama, and oral traditions. It aligns with UNESCO's views that cultural development has the potential to promote sustainable development in the marginalized sections of society. Pursuits and projects undertaken for the promotion of literature, culture, heritage, women empowerment, and social welfare are the hallmarks of the foundation. The foundation enjoys the patronage of Sri Cements Limited, who support each event as part of their CSR initiative. Support and cooperation of distinguished associates, partners, collaborators, and the SR's Women of India have helped the foundation successfully curate book launches, authors' meets, cultural programs, literature fests, and boutique festivals. SR's is the women empowerment wing of the foundation, representing a conglomeration of successful professional women across all spheres of society who have immense contribution in facilitating events of the foundation as moderators, conversationalists, and in myriad other roles. Eminent literateurs, performing artists, musicians, and cultural bigwigs have praised the Foundation's multifaceted literary and cultural events. Events that have become landmarks in India and abroad include Kitab for book launches, an Author's Afternoon, the Write Circle, the Universe Writes, which are dedicated to English literature, Kalam for Hindi literature, Akhar for regional literature, Loves for Urdu, Farsi, Persian, and Arabic, Ek Mulaqat and Chaubal for the meeting of minds with eminent personalities from different walks of life. Sur or Saaz is for the traditional singers and musicians, and Chalchitra Rangmanch is for promoting performing arts and special screening of films. Prabhakaitan Foundation is also a front runner in implementation of several projects in the domain of social welfare and basic education. Some of the social welfare projects include Muskan for popularizing heritage literature and culture among students, Rahat for providing relief and protecting the vulnerable sections of society, Sahyog for collaborating and providing monetary support to organizations, and Karuna for spreading love and awareness towards pets and preventing cruelty towards them. May I now invite Rudrangshu Mukherjee, Manisha Jain and Anindita Chatterjee of the Foundation to open the session with the lighting of the lamp.
Thank you, Resha. Thank you, everyone. Now that the festival has officially begun, a little bit more about the theme for this year's edition, Creative Intelligence in the Time of Artificial Intelligence. I know we of more advanced years think that increasingly young people are beginning to depend on artificial intelligence for everything, from editing their photos to writing their assignments. I'm looking at you, students, to perhaps even their love letters, texts or emails. A knee-jerk reaction is that familiar response of older people to change, a collective shaking of our heads, and dire predictions of AI as a threat to natural intelligence, to jobs, and perhaps to the world. But what is it that AI brings to the table? What is it that AI can take away from the table? Today, we discuss this. For edition 1, we have designed sessions on 4 aspects: literature, sports, healthcare, and entertainment, under the overarching theme, Creative Intelligence in the Time of AI. And to set the tone for the festival, I call on stage Dr. Rudrangshu Mukherjee, the keynote speaker of the inaugural edition of Voice of Tomorrow. An introduction. Dr. Rudrangshu Mukherjee is the Chancellor of Ashoka University, where he's also a professor of history. He's a distinguished historian and author. He has taught history at the University of Calcutta and held visiting appointments at Princeton University, the University of Manchester, and the University of California, Santa Cruz. He was editor of the editorial pages at the Telegraph, Kolkata, for several years before leaving the newsroom and returning to the classroom as founding Vice-Chancellor of Ashoka University. Dr. Mukherjee studied at Calcutta Boys School, Presidency College, Kolkata, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and St. Edmund Hall, Oxford. He was awarded a DPhil in Modern History by the University of Oxford in 1981. His first book, Awadh in Revolt, 1857-58, a study of popular resistance, published in 1984, has become a standard reference on the subject. He has looked closely at the 1857 rebellion in 5 other books. He has also authored and edited several books on other themes, including The Penguin Gandhi Reader, Great Speeches of Modern India, Nehru and Bose, Parallel Lives, and Tagore and Gandhi, Walking Alone, Walking Together. His 2 latest books are A New History of India and The Best of Tagore. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute privilege, Dr. Rudrangshu Mukherjee.
Good morning. Well, I'm obviously very deeply honored to be asked to give this keynote address, but I have very serious reservations about the choice because I don't think I am the best speaker for inaugurating such an occasion or such a discussion session. For one thing, I'm the voice of the past. And as my gray hairs will tell most of you. And secondly, as even the short curriculum vitae that was read out to you will tell you that I'm heavily tilted in favor of creative intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. So there's a word of warning there for those of you who are tilted the other way and think artificial intelligence is the gift of divine providence. I must begin by pointing out a contradiction in this polarity between creative intelligence and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence was actually created by creative intelligence. A group of extraordinary, talented, innovative, far-reaching scientists, thinkers, got together to devise this thing or this device called artificial intelligence, which has, of course, come to affect our lives in various different ways, beneficially and not so beneficially in some cases. We must remember this, that human beings created artificial intelligence, and that artificial intelligence is now trying to erode some of the activities and some of the innovative abilities or some of the intelligence of human beings as well. This is an inherent contradiction, and as a student of history, I cannot but think that this is a classic contradiction since the time machines came to aid human beings in their ability to use a stronger word, exploit nature. The milestone for that, of course, is the Industrial Revolution in England, which spread to the continent and to the rest of the world, where machines multiplied in exponential terms the productive capacities of human beings. In so doing, it also degenerated human beings, because if you, I see my old classmate in the audience, and she will be able to tell you that if you read any great piece of 19th century English literature, Charles Dickens, for example, you will know what I mean when I say that it led to the degeneration of human beings. It led to what Charles Dickens called in one of his novels, very hard times. So this is a relationship, I think, and a contradiction that continues. Human beings create machines, create computer chips, create artificial intelligence, which then affect the lives of human beings, as I said, sometimes very adversely as well. And this is what's happening with artificial intelligence as well. The first manifestation of artificial intelligence was, of course, the computer chip, which led to the internet, the email, which have become integral parts of our lives. But is it all to the benefit of everybody? I mean, one art that has completely been lost is the art of letter writing. We write SMSs, we do WhatsApp, we send emails, but the art of letter writing is a genre by itself. And if you look at some of the great letters in our own country, Tagore, Gandhi, in the West, Bertrand Russell, some of the great love letters, somebody mentioned love letters, and some of the great love letters were all written by hand, by a fountain pen, even before the ball pen arrived. And now, of course, we send, what is it, emojis or icons on our iPhones to say, I love somebody, which seems to me a bit of a degeneration of this great emotion called love, which binds so many of us together, and which we have now come to take for granted because of this development of artificial intelligence. But more than that, I mean, more than that, taking it to a different level, I mean, internet, the rise of the internet has also led to decline in the reading of books. People think that the internet, there's a university in the internet, the great university where all knowledge is available at the pressing of a keyboard button. People don't realize that that has also been created by human beings, and that is also full of errors and misinformation. I just have to Google Rudrangshu Mukherjee to realize how much misinformation there is about myself in what it says, and people take that as the gospel truth, gospel according to the internet, or gospel according to Google, and that's where the danger lies. We have forgotten where to draw the lines, where information ends and knowledge begins. These are two very distinct but interrelated spheres of the human brain. The human brain can store a lot of information, but the human brain is also capable of analyzing that information and make it into knowledge. There are spheres of artificial intelligence that is capable of doing this transformation, carrying out this transformation, which is happening in healthcare in a very, very major way. But again, remember that that robot that is carrying out a very, very complicated surgery with much greater precision and with much greater reduction in the possibility of error has also been created by creative intelligence. Human beings have created that robot, programmed it in a particular way so that it can carry out a very complicated surgery. So there are innumerable examples one could give. And as a teacher, what I have come to detest, and I use the word very advisedly, is students who think he can write an assignment without reading anything and depending on, what is it called, the chat GPT or something like that, you know, which tells you, supposed to tell you whatever you want to know. I mean, you could chat GPT and chat GPT would tell you what Rudrangshu Mukherjee would say on an occasion like this, on such and such date. I mean, suppose it has predictive abilities as well. I don't know where this is going to take us, where we are going to end up. I still have very serious doubts about whether ChatGPT can write a war and peace, or ChatGPT can produce a painting like the damsels of Avignon. Maybe it will, but that will lead to a very serious diminishing of human imagination and human creativity. I hope we don't go to such a state and such a degeneration of human beings. But there is one critical area where I think, and at the end of that, for some of you pessimistic, for some of you optimistic note, where I don't think artificial intelligence can actually help human beings in any way. And I'll try and illustrate this with two anecdotes and draw my own conclusions from those anecdotes from one of the greatest books to be written in any language, in any geography of the world. This is the Mahabharata, our own classic. Those of you who are familiar with the book will know that at the end of the Bharata, we are at the third book. It has been a very tiring day for the 5 Pandava brothers and their wife Draupadi. The sun is nearing the western horizon. When Draupadi says that she can't walk anymore, she's very thirsty and tired. And so they sit down in the shade of a tree, and Yudhishthira tells his brother Nakula to climb on the tree and to see if there is any water body around from which Panchali Draupadi can be given some water. And Nakula climbs up and says, oh, there's a huge water body. And so Nakula is sent off to get water. He doesn't come back. Yudhishthira waits, sends Shahadeva saying, what's happened to Nakula? Go and see, get some water. Shahadeva doesn't come back. The same thing is repeated with Arjuna, with Bhima. They don't come back. So Yudhishthira and Draupadi are left on the shade of the tree. When Yudhishthira tells Draupadi, wait, I will come, go and get the water for you. When he arrives at the water body to find on the banks of this great lake 4 dead bodies, his brothers. And he wades into the water to draw water because top of his mind is the fact that Draupadi is thirsty and waiting. When he hears this voice, it says, don't draw water from this lake. This is my lake. Don't draw water from this lake till you have answered my questions. And he looks up, and from a tree, a weird-looking creature, indescribable by words, descends, a huge creature, 1 foot, 1 eye, and so on and so forth. And the creature says, your brothers defied my orders, so I've killed them. And so Yudhishthira says, you must be very, very powerful, that you have been able to kill all my 4 brothers. But I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can. And there follows one of the great question-answer sessions in the world. I mean, Socrates himself would have been proud of it. 108 questions. And Yudhishthira answers them one by one. I mean, they begin with very simple questions, general knowledge questions, and then move to very profound philosophical issues. And at the end, this weird-looking bird says, I'm very satisfied with your answers. You can draw water. And because you have answered my questions so well, I will raise one of your brothers from the dead. So tell me which brother you want to be raised. And Yudhishthira, without even a pause, says, my lord, please raise Nakula. And the bird says, Nakula? He's not even your blood brother. Your blood brothers are Arjuna and Bhima, the ever loyal Bhima, the great warrior Arjuna. And he asks for Nakula's life. So Yudhishthira says, yes, mother. I have 2 mothers, Kunti and Madri. Mother Kunti's mother is alive. Mother Kunti's son is alive. I am alive. So Mother Madri must have a son alive. So I'm asking for Nakula's life. The great weird bird morphs itself and becomes Dharma, Yudhishthira's father, and says, son, I was testing you. You have made the correct ethical choice by asking for Nakula's life. So I'll raise all your brothers. I mean, those who are students of narrative will realize there's a very pivotal narrative significance to this, because if Yudhishthira hadn't taken this correct ethical call, the narrative wouldn't have moved forward. There wouldn't have been any war. Yudhishthira would have been alone. All the other Pandavas would have been dead. But apart from that, there's the point about taking the correct ethical call. I'll come back to it. Fast forward, many, many books. We are towards the end of the great epic. Yudhishthira is on the Himalayas, somewhere. Draupadi has fallen, his 4 brothers have fallen. There's just a dog with him who left Indraprastha with the 5 Pandavas and Draupadi. When the top of a mountain, chariot from heaven descends. On it is the king of heaven, Indra. And Indra says, Yudhishthira, Maharaj, you will be the only, first and only human being to go to heaven alive. Climb onto the chariot. And as Yudhishthira climbs onto the chariot, the dog follows him. And Indra says, no, this dirty animal cannot come onto the chariot and go to heaven. So Yudhishthira steps off the chariot. He says, If the dog can't go, I can't go. So Indra says, you are going to sacrifice your journey to heaven for a dog. And Yudhishthira said, yes. Because when every part of my life has left me, he has been with me. Through all the travails that I have gone through, we have shared each other's food, we have shared each other's warmth. He has never deserted me. And now, because of the lure of heaven, you expect me to desert him? I can't do that. The dog morphs itself. His dharma again. He says, son, this was your final test. Now you can go to hell. On both these two anecdotes, Yudhishthira takes the correct ethical call. Can artificial intelligence enable us to do that? I leave the question with you. Thank you.
Dr. Mukherjee, for not just that address, that we'll call it a speech, but for leaving us with those questions, and especially the younger ones at the back and also us. But we are going to have to call you back again because formal felicitation has to happen. So please, if we could have you here and Anil.